Welcome back to Customer Tech Talks. I'm your host, Ben Walters, and today we're joined by Marie Curie in the UK who provide palliative care. Let's take a look.
At Marie Curie, we help around 60,000 people directly each year and reach over 2 million more. Our nurses, 9 hospices and support line have been on the front line, supporting dying people and their families throughout the pandemic. We couldn't do this without your support.
So we're joined today by Ivan Delany, IT Director for Marie Curie. Ivan, thank you for making the time.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Now, you were brought into Marie Curie to help transform their IT operations. Can you talk a little bit about how you got started and some of the challenges with the existing infrastructure?
Yeah, sure. Well, when I joined, the IT infrastructure was about to break. We had aging hardware, we had different operating system versions all over the place. And rather than spend all the time fixing that stuff, bringing in SAN engineers, network engineers, building server racks, all that kind of stuff, wait a minute, it's going to be easier, cheaper, faster, better to move all of the services into the cloud. So that's what we did. But it wasn't just about fixing the infrastructure. We need more flexibility. The organization was changing and becoming more reliant on IT, and we wanted to put out more digital services. So we wanted a flexible platform that we could grow those services really quickly. So off we went into the cloud.
So when we spoke earlier, you mentioned that your approach here was really to build your base infrastructure first and then move your first applications over. And once you had that there was something pretty significant that you noticed.
Yeah, that's right. I got more sleep, which is great, actually, because I stopped being woken up at night. But being serious, I literally stopped being woken up at night with that terrible call. We've had a P1, this system's down, and often really serious things. We went from, I think when I looked at the stats, it was 3 P1s, major system outages every 2 weeks, to, in the last 2.5 years, we've had one outage, which has been due to cloud infrastructure failure. So it just almost instantly gave us stability, space to breathe, enabled us to focus on bringing real value to the organization.
So really great to see the benefits that were realized so quickly, and even more so when you think about how critical these systems are to both your business and also the people's lives that they're impacting. Can you share how you're building resiliency into your infrastructure?
Yeah, but just before I do that, I think I need to draw a distinction between the kind of services that we provide and support in our IT services and perhaps other organizations. In most other places I've worked, your mission critical systems are those that if you lose, you start losing money quickly. The difference at Marie Curie is when we lose our mission critical systems, those are the systems that when they're not up, patient care is harmed. The ones where we start losing money quickly, we call business critical. We need our systems up so that nurses understand what medication people are on, so clinicians understand what allergies people have so that they can look after them properly. So when they're down, there's an instant impact on the quality of patient care. So we have to be really on top of those, keeping the lights on, so to speak. Early on, we deployed Azure availability zones to make sure that those critical services and the infrastructure and pinning was always there, no matter what's happening. And also Azure site recovery, so that when the worst happens and you do lose a system, which can happen, you can bring it back quickly. And this was best demonstrated when we had to do this in anger about a year ago from now, when someone in our finance department deleted a load of data in our finance systems. Hey, these things happen, don't they? And we were able to bring that entire system back online in 90 minutes. But most of that 90 minutes was post-restore, checking the data, making sure everything was right. To be honest, I think there was a bit of, really? You got it back that quickly? Have you really got it back that quickly? Let's double check that. It was just so smooth. I go back pre-cloud days and certainly pre-Azure days. I think that would have been days, maybe even over a week. Who knows how much time to have brought that system back.
That's really impressive to hear, and hopefully the finance person doesn't think it's okay to delete the data on a more regular basis just because it comes back that quickly. Now, fast forward a little bit. You also found that your decision to move to the cloud, both for your infrastructure and also M365, really set up Marie Curie for success when COVID hit. Can you share some of your experiences with this and some of the things you noticed when that happened?
Yeah, sure. Well, when the pandemic hit, when everybody was sent home in the UK, late March last year, I certainly remember that day really well. We're about a year into being fully cloud. We didn't have any services that weren't in the cloud, and we deployed Teams in the previous summer, so we're a bit ahead of many organisations getting there. And the reason we've done that actually is because we had a strategy of being able to do anything, anywhere, anytime. So we built towards people being able to do their normal tasks securely wherever they were. So we're well set up. When people were sent home, there are two things that I had to do. One was order about 100 extra laptops. We've got quite a store of laptops generally. We cycle around. We just happened to be in a fairly good place at that time. And increase the number of connections, the amount of power, if you like, for our VPN service. That change took about 15 minutes. That was it. And within a week, we went from a couple of hundred people working at home to well over 2,000, really without breaking into a sweat. So it's, real vindication of the move we made. And I should say, and the strategy we had.
Now, I can imagine you were most likely the envy of a lot of your peers in the industry at that point. But let's shift gears a little bit. And looking back over this process and your migration and setting up that resiliency, can you share some of the lessons you've learned and things you'd tell other people to think about who are looking to take a similar step to the cloud?
Yeah, I'd sort of focus on two things, I would say. The first is be very clear with your executive why you're going to the cloud. It can seem like an expensive toy to those that aren't familiar with it. Are you going to the cloud because you need more flexibility? You don't know what's happening with the business strategy, being able to move quickly? Do you need more scalability, being able to cope with the unexpected, COVID being a huge impact of it? Or do you need to reduce your sort of sawtooth investment? Rather than spending millions of pounds on hardware, you just get a nice flat line OPEX. Depends on your business model. That's a good or bad thing, of course. But be clear about the benefits of cloud and the reasons for going there. It's not a toy. It's something that brings real, often opportunity, flexibility and scalability to the wider business. And the other thing, which is as important, is get the right progressive team. Bring in those bright people, those driven people who want to go on a cloud journey with you, who are as excited with moving to this new way of working as you are. Get those things right, and you're in a pretty good place to start.
So some really great lessons there for people who are looking to start their migration to the cloud. Ivan, thank you so much for taking the time with us today. It's been great to hear about your journey.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
And of course, if you or anyone is affected by a terminal illness or you want to donate to Marie Curie, you can head over to the links on screen now. And if you want to learn more about migrating to Azure, you can check out all the resources on Microsoft Learn to get started. And don't forget to follow us on social to get updates on all the latest episodes. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next Customer Tech Talks.